My project is entitled Fuel Spray and Mixture Preparation in a Split Cycle Engine. Now, engines are these marvellous creations that allow us to run different types of vehicles so we can get from point A to point B. They have 4 main stages: intake, compression, combustion, and exhaust.
Now, engines have these cylinders inside them where the combustion of the fuel takes place. Pistons rest inside the cylinders and these move during the combustion process. The movement of these pistons is actually what powers the vehicle. All of the pistons are attached to what is called a crankshaft. A crankshaft is the object shown in the bottom of this diagram. As the pistons move up and down, they turn the crankshaft and this powers the vehicle.
Now, my project is regarding this new type of engine that's being created to be more efficient than any other types of engines by employing the split cycle concept. Now, a split cycle engine has one cylinder for intake and compression and another cylinder for combustion and exhaust. The 2 cylinders are connected by crossover ports in which the compressed fuel and air mixture is transported from this cylinder to the power cylinder between the compression and power strokes. The reason this should be more efficient is that it only takes one complete crankshaft revolution, which is one complete rotation of the crankshaft previously shown, to complete all of that, whereas other engines, such as a normal 4-stroke engine, requires 2 crankshaft revolutions for that.
This is a mesh of the power cylinder of the split cycle engine that I used to complete my project. This one here is the intake valve where the air goes in, and this point here is where the spark plug will be used for ignition, and this duct here is the exhaust duct.
The learning curve of this project was quite difficult for me at first, because not only did I barely know anything about engines, but I also had to be taught how to use the numerical modelling program Fluent. My understanding of how to use this program was key to the project, as I was allowed the privilege of completing the project in the comfort of my own home, as Fluent was installed on my own personal laptop. This made me realise the true value of self-motivation and self-discipline, and with these qualities I think I completed the project to the highest standard. Now, the reason I used Fluent was that I was trying to find the optimum location to inject fuel for the split cycle engine that will create a fuel vapour cloud right by the spark plug, which will give successful combustion. I tested 3 different locations of fuel injector with 3 different breakup models. Now, breakup refers to the fragmentation and the splitting up of a fuel droplet. Tab breakup uses oscillations of the fuel particle to break it up. Once it reaches a certain amplitude, then the particle will split. The second one is wave breakup, otherwise known as stripping breakup, which uses velocities of flow travelling in the opposite directions to strip away parts of the fuel until it's all used up. And the third model I used was no breakup, where nothing happened at all, I just left it by itself. Breakup models are actually more representative of what would happen inside an engine, so I was more interested in the breakup models rather than the one with no breakup. Now, the 3 positions that I tested were near the inlet valve, near the exhaust duct, and near the spark plug. A case file containing all the different parameters for the engine was created for each of the positions. Although it may have taken a while to actually set this up and to program each of the different injector positions, it meant that when it came to testing the different types of breakup models, breakup was actually the only factor that needed to be changed, and this made it easier at this point. Now, the results. So using the data file outputs that Fluent gives when calculating the solution, I can create these pictures that will tell me where the fuel vapor cloud will end up, whether near the spark plug where I want it to be, or somewhere else where I don't want it to be. So, for the injector near the inlet valve, we found that the fuel actually evaporated too quickly and so was all around the inlet valve. In fact, some was even lost to going up the inlet valve. Now, this is not good because it's very far away from the spark plug, so it won't give off successful combustion. For the injector near the spark plug, the breakup model showed that the fuel actually evaporated very quickly, meaning it was right by the spark plug, which is great news. It will give successful combustion, so a good place to put the injector. Though a few tests have already been carried out, further research is still needed to be done to explore injection strategies and realistic flow patterns that could possibly help guide the flow of the fuel towards the spark plug to give successful combustion. But to conclude my project, what is the optimal injector location for mixture preparation for a split cycle engine? Well, at this stage of development, I would have to say near the spark plug. Thank you.